welcome to another episode of Coffee with the C-Suite. I'm joined today by our Head of Sales, Stuart Boyd. Thank you for joining me today for a coffee, Stuart.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mina.
How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
This is your first time on the show, so...
It is, big fan.
Big fan. I'd like to start off, as this is your first time on the show, I'd like to start off every single episode with a recommendation of the week from my guest. So this can be absolutely anything that you've enjoyed over the last week or two. So have you got anything for me?
I've just finished reading a book called Stolen Focus by Johann Hari. Have you read that?
I have. I haven't actually read the full book. I just started it about a couple of weeks ago on Audible because I listened to one of his episodes. He was a guest on another podcast that I listened to. And there was a couple of excerpts I listened to and I thought it was terrifying but really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Very scary,
yeah.
but really enlightening as well, and so practical as well. Like, why is it happening that people can't focus for more than a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
But then also ideas that strategies that can be implemented.
Absolutely. Have you implemented any yourself? Not yet.
I've only just finished the book. So.
Okay, fair enough. No, I remember in the episode, I think you mentioned one of those lock-away boxes for your phone at home. So yeah. I'm considering, but then I feel like I'd be like a mad woman trying to get back into it, locking myself out. So I'm not sure whether I'm quite there yet.
I think phones are the big one. That's my takeaway of all the strategies. So.
Exactly. They've completely changed us, haven't they?
Mm.
Well, I'd like to talk to you today about, obviously we've been chatting about this quite a bit in the office, hiring safe workers. It's been a topical conversations around this, and I guess workplace safety is such a critical aspect to any organisation's success, and it not only helps in preventing accidents and injuries, it also contributes to improving overall productivity. And we know that creating safe workplaces lowers workers' compensation claims, reduces risks and potential accidents, and is obviously part of an employer's legal obligations. So I guess to give me a little bit of background and our viewers, are you able to tell me a little bit about what the landscape looks like at the moment?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think the landscape has improved definitely in the last decade and a half to 2 decades, but the figures are still really scary. In Australia in 2021, 3.5% of people involved in the workforce had a workplace accident.
Wow.
Now that can range from, not too serious, obviously, but on a much more serious side, about 55% of people who had those accidents had to take a week or longer off work.
Yeah. So
we're talking, hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
When you consider the Australian workforce is about 14, 15 million. In 17-18, that was 4.2%, so it's definitely improved.
Okay.
And at its peak in 05-06, it was 6.4%.
Wow.
So
we're doing something right.
Yeah, it definitely has improved, and businesses' practices and obviously technology and lots of factors have led to that improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone can agree that 3.5% is still a staggering figure.
Absolutely.
Highlighting in 2022 is 169 deaths in Australia in workplaces.
Yeah.
So
wow.
very serious numbers, very serious
absolutely,
topic.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not anything to take lightly, I guess. Those are absolutely some staggering numbers, and I guess we know that accidents are always going to happen. It's not something that we can entirely eliminate, but can these figures be reduced? And if so, how?
Yeah. Look, absolutely, and obviously on any business's safety model, there's multiple inputs that create a safe environment. Obviously the physical environment itself, the equipment that they're working with, the materials, the tasks of the job, processes, procedures, training, all those kind of things. But I think the biggest thing is at the heart of it is the people.
Yeah.
If you're not bringing safe people into your organisation, if you're bringing people that have got a poor level of self-awareness, a poor level of safety focus, a poor level of risk-taking behaviour at an inappropriate level, then you are going to see your environment is going to be less safe.
Yeah.
And you can have the best processes and procedures in the world, but if people don't follow them or don't create a safety culture, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And what's the way that we can find these safe workers?
Well, look, there's obviously a range of things that can be done throughout the recruitment process, and even once the employee starts with you. And obviously there's different psychometric assessments available that can measure a person's behavioural preferences, specifically in a safety setting or a safety environment.
Yeah.
So looking at what are key safety competencies for different roles.
Yeah.
And obviously different role, if you're working in a mine versus working in a in-home care or personal care setting, the safety requirements are nuanced and different,
Of course.
but equally important as well. So there's a real range of tools out there where people can measure and assess to see if the people they bring into their organisation are going to fit within their safety culture and help create a safe environment for both themselves and obviously their colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. Now, we have done a lot of this work and seen some great results with some of our clients.
Absolutely.
And you know this better than anyone, so are you able to tell me a little bit about some of the work we've done?
Yeah, look, absolutely. We have our safety solutions used, particularly in a recruitment setting, across a huge range of industries. Obviously, your traditional mining, manufacturing, transport, but also a lot within NDIS providers, healthcare providers, etc. So people will use our tools to assess their candidates. They might use it as a first stage assessment. They might use it later in the process, but very much using it, looking at a harsh benchmark, say if this person falls below the minimum requirements, they are not suitable to come on site. And we have had, many examples where people have sort of said, well, we need someone to drive that forklift, or we need someone to do that shift in the nursing home. They fall below the benchmark, they decide that they're going to proceed regardless, and then 3 months later we're back because that person's not past probation, they've had an accident or something's happened, and we're back going through the process again. So we do see that a lot, and the tools have been heavily validated both from the science behind them, but also from our clients' experiences of people having serious accidents, getting their safety results, and they've been well below the benchmarks.
Yeah.
We've also done a lot of benchmarking with different clients, looking at their employment cohorts where they might have had an accident or they might have had some concerns, and they can actually look and see what the level of safety awareness, safety responsibility, safety culture is within their existing workforce.
Yeah.
And then using that data, they're able to take some really targeted corrective actions, implement training, cultural change programs, etc., to bring that group up to safe standard.
Yeah, brilliant. That all sounds really great. I guess it's unlike other areas of recruitment and other roles. When it comes to safety, the consequences of not hiring safe workers is a lot. They're a lot more dire.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you only need to read the papers, on your phone, of course, because you've got no focus. But you only need to read the papers to really see how serious it is. And, obviously the human side, 169 deaths last year in Australia is way too many for a country like this.
Absolutely.
I think everyone can agree with that, and that's even before you consider the cost of the business and other things, which obviously aren't as important as someone's life,
of course,
but equally are are important as well.
Absolutely.
So it is very serious.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me for a coffee and a chat today.
Yeah, thank you.
If you would like some more information on how to hire safe workers, we do actually have an ebook that's live on our website at the moment, where you can get a lot more information about this topic, or of course you can always reach out to us for a chat. Thank you for joining us so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Shop.